Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, At Home with Willowberry. Or if you're new, welcome. But where have you been? I'm so happy to see you here. My name is Valerie, and in today's video, we are finally building our new garden shed. I show you all the fruits, veggies, and flowers that we're growing here on our little homestead, and I share all the beautiful spring views that we have from our little corner here in the Virginia mountains. So if you're interested, I hope you'll stick around and enjoy the video. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all happy, healthy, and enjoying a beautiful day wherever you are in this great big world. Here in the Virginia mountains, it's late April, and the temperature is supposed to get all the way up to 88 degrees. That's a scorcher, y'all. I'm not ready for summer temps yet. I mean, it's still springtime. I tell you what, the temps have been all over the place during the last week or so. We would wake up to temps in the 40s, but by lunchtime it was warming up to the upper 70s. And now today it's going to be almost 90. It's gearing up to be a hot summer, y'all. I'm curious, what's the weather like where you're at? Let me know down below. Well, as you can see, Tim is laying down the flooring for the garden shed. In our previous two videos, we leveled the ground and then built the shed's base. But by the end of today's video, we will have a new garden shed, and I can't wait. So if you're ready, let's just get into the video. Now that the floor has been secured with screws, Tim will then be painting the floor with a deck and porch paint that he picked up at Walmart. He picked a beautiful reddish-orange color that would hide the red clay dirt that would be tracked into the shed. Unfortunately, this was a wasted step and a waste of money, but I'll get into that a little bit later in the video. We are building an 8 by 12 foot shed that I ordered from Amazon. I had originally bought this shed to be used as my chicken coop, but Tim convinced me it was way too big for a chicken coop, but we figured it would be the perfect size for a garden shed. I went and bought an 8 by 10 foot shed to be used for the chickens instead, which was also from Amazon. The name of the Amazon store is called Patio Well, and we actually have purchased 3 sheds from them in 3 different sizes. One for the garden shed, one for the chicken coop, and one for feed and supplies for the chickens and any other future animals that we decide to add to our little homestead. We've been working so hard on our garden patch over the last few weeks, and I can't wait to show y'all what we've got growing so far. We also can't forget about Tim's berry bushes and grapevines. I'm so excited to show y'all all the new growth coming up from the berry roots. It's just so exciting. But first, we need to get the shed from the truck down to the back of the garden patch, and then we need to unpack the shed and find the directions, which is probably the first thing we should have done, even before building the shed base, because having done that would have saved us a little bit of time and a whole lot of money. This shed was advertised as an 8 by 12 foot shed, both on Amazon and right on the box. So Tim built the base exactly 8 feet wide by 12 feet long. But as it turns out, the actual dimensions on the shed were a bit smaller than that. Well, Tim wasn't expecting there to be flooring exposed to the elements. We figured the floor would be completely covered by the shed. So now we have to find a way to protect the exposed OSB boards, which is what he used for the flooring. If we had just read the directions first, we could have saved ourselves some time and money, because now we have to go buy a gallon of Flex Seal rubber sealant paint to protect the exposed flooring, because the deck and porch paint won't be enough to keep the flooring from deteriorating from the rain. I sure hope that makes sense. Basically, Tim would have built the base to fit the shed exactly, but now there will be about 4 inches of exposed flooring all around the shed. Oh well, it is what it is. We'll know better next time when it's time to build the chicken coop. It's a brand new day here in the Virginia mountains, and it's cold, overcast, and calling for rain. But we're not going to let that stop us from continuing to build our garden shed. Today, we will be sealing the perimeter of the shed floor, the part that will be exposed to the elements. We plan to eventually paint the entire floor with the rubber sealant, but today we'll just be painting the edges. That way we can get to building the shed sooner than later. We're going to be using a liquid rubber sealant by Flex Seal to protect the flooring from the elements. Flex Seal rubber sealant is a thick rubberized liquid that dries to a watertight, airtight, flexible coating that's perfect for covering large surface areas. It's also mildew, chemical, and UV resistant and can be applied to all kinds of surfaces such as concrete, brick, and wood, so it's perfect for what we need. Like I mentioned before, we will eventually be painting the entire floor with the rubber paint, but today we're only painting the edges of the platform and the sides of the shed base. It won't take too long to dry, so once Tim finishes painting the floor, we'll wait a few hours and then we can finally begin building the garden shed. It is now much later in the day, and the rubber coating is dry enough that we can go ahead and start building the garden shed. So that's what we're going to do now. I wouldn't say that it was hard to put the shed together, but it sure did take a long time to build. The directions say it should take 2 people 2 to 3 hours to build. Well, I'm not so sure about that. It took us a couple of days to build the shed, but I have to say it was great practice because we have 2 more sheds to build just like this one, except they're smaller. So hopefully they won't take as long to build. Well, y'all, that's about all we had time for on day 1 of actually building the shed. It's gotten late in the day, and we still have dinner to cook and kids to run all over town for their different sports activities. But don't worry, we'll get right back to work on the shed first thing tomorrow morning. Well, y'all, here we are on day 5, right back to work building the garden shed. Today's goal is to install the shed walls, which was probably the easiest part of building the shed. I'm so excited for when this shed will finally be finished. It will be so nice to have a dedicated spot for all our garden tools and supplies. We had thought we would be able to park the lawnmower in the garden shed, but unfortunately the doorway isn't going to be big enough for the lawnmower to get through, so we will have to figure out somewhere else to park it. But we'll worry about that another day. Another thing that I'm excited for is the water catching system that we plan to add to the shed. We have no water access close to the garden patch at this time, so it's been a bit of a challenge getting water down to my vegetables. But we're hoping having 2 water storage tanks to catch rainwater behind the garden shed will solve that problem. We plan to attach gutters to the shed that will divert rainwater into the storage tanks. So as long as there's rain, we should have plenty of water for the garden. I tell you what, all this warm weather has me thinking about the summer coming up. We've already started talking about where we want to go on vacation this year. We'll probably just head back down to the North Carolina beaches like we usually do, but we'll have to find some place to fit all 6 of us, plus Max and Willow. We would normally just take our camper and go check into a campground somewhere, but unfortunately Granny can't get up in the camper, so we'll probably end up renting an Airbnb somewhere close to the beach. What about y'all? Do you have any plans for a summer vacation? I'd love to hear where y'all are headed to, so let me know down in the comments. We're also talking about going to Disney World, but that won't be until later this year, probably at Christmas time. We'll just have to wait and see. Well, y'all, the shed walls went up pretty quickly, so we have plenty of time left to start raising the roof, so that's what we're going to work on now. It's Saturday here, so we don't have to run around anywhere with the boys today, so we have all day to work on the shed, so we'll have to see how far we can get before the sun starts to set. I tell you what, I've really enjoyed being in our new home here in the mountains during the springtime. Fall was beautiful with the leaves changing colors and then falling to the ground, but seeing all the new growth that comes with spring has been so fun. I've had so much fun spending time outside working in my little garden patch and planting flowers in my deck boxes and flower pots. It has been so refreshing. We really needed this break from renovating, that's for sure. But don't worry, y'all. We'll be back to work renovating very soon. I'm so ready for this shed to be built. It feels like it's taken forever. There's no way 2 people could build this in just 2 to 3 hours. I just don't believe that's possible. And that's not including building the base. It took a full day just to level the ground and another day to build the shed base. The directions said it would take 2 to 3 hours just to erect the shed, but I disagree. I don't know. Maybe with some experience, the next shed might be a bit quicker, but definitely not 2 to 3 hours. But we're almost finished, so I guess that's all that matters, right? Well, all right, we're going to go ahead and see about installing the roof rafters, and then we're going to call it a night. It's been a long day, and we're getting tired, so this seems like a good place to take a break. Tomorrow, Tim will be installing the roof panels and hopefully finish building the garden shed. We're getting there, y'all. We just have to put up the roof panels and install the door, and then we'll have a garden shed. I just can't believe how long it has taken to build this shed. 6 whole days, start to finish. That's just crazy, y'all. But it will be so nice when it's finished, that's for sure. All right, y'all, if you're ready, let's get this done. It's time to raise the roof. I am so in love with this little garden shed and all that we're going to be able to do with it, especially once we attach the gutters and the water storage tanks. It's been a lot of work, especially for Tim since he did most of the work himself, but we finally have our new garden shed and I love it. Well, y'all, that's about it for another video. I really hope you enjoyed it and I can't wait to talk to you in my next one. I'll see you real soon. Bye, y'all.